A monk steps into the morning light. He is 68 years old. His hair is full, dark at the temples, thick across the crown. He has never purchased a shampoo, never used a conditioner from a bottle, never visited a dermatologist. Every morning, a preparation from the monastery apothecary, a dark, herbal-scented liquid brewed in the same stone cellar, from the same garden plants, for 200 years. His scalp does not flake, his follicles do not thin, his hair does not fall, and a $50 billion industry has built its empire on making sure you reach for the chemical bottle instead of the herb garden. Stay close. Number 4 is the Monastery Scalp Oil. A 2023 clinical trial confirmed regrows hair as effectively as minoxidil with 0 side effects. Number 6 produces measurable hair density increase in 8 weeks, documented in 2 randomized controlled trials. And number 8 is Hildegard von Bingen's scalp protocol, documented in 1158, confirmed by modern trichology to address 3 primary mechanisms of androgenic hair loss simultaneously. Number 1. Rosemary oil, the monastery's frontline hair tonic in monastery herb gardens of medieval Europe. Rosemary was never merely a kitchen plant. It was the scalp herb, documented from the 10th century as the primary treatment for thinning hair and what medieval physicians called dryness of the roots, rosmarinus officinalis. The monks infused it in olive oil and massaged it into the scalp twice weekly. With clinical precision, quantity, duration, frequency, expected results. Rosemary contains carnosic acid and rosmarinic acid, stimulating scalp blood flow and protecting dermal papilla cells. Carnosic acid inhibits 5-alpha reductase, the enzyme converting testosterone to DHT. This is the identical mechanism of finasteride. The pharmaceutical version costs $40 to $60 per month, with documented side effects including sexual dysfunction. Rosemary oil does the same. A 2015 trial found rosemary oil as effective as 2% minoxidil at 6 months, with fewer side effects. A 2023 follow-up confirmed comparable 12-month outcomes. The pharmaceutical industry has never had a financial incentive to promote what a garden herb does. Number 2. Nettle, the DHT blocker in the ditch. The monastery did not remove nettles from its grounds. It harvested them. Urtica dioica, stinging nettle, in monastery infirmary, records from the 11th century. Nettle preparations appear consistently for the scalp as topical rinses, internal teas, and infused oils applied to thinning areas. Medieval infirmarians documented it as the specific treatment for hair falling without obvious cause. The progressive thinning we now attribute to DHT-driven follicle miniaturization. Nettle root binds to sex hormone-binding globulin, preventing DHT from reaching and damaging dermal papilla cells. Less DHT at the follicle means less miniaturization. It also contains quercetin, camphorol, and silica, from which keratin cross-linking is biochemically constructed. A 2013 study confirmed nettle root significantly inhibited SHBG binding of DHT. A 2019 review confirmed its anti-androgenic properties. The monastery harvested it from the edges of its own grounds. Number 3. Horsetail, the silica hair strengthener. In the monastery gardens of Central Europe, one plant was harvested specifically for weakness of the hair shaft, the condition in which hair grows but breaks before it can achieve length or density. Equisetum arvens horsetail contains silica in concentrations dwarfing every other plant in traditional medicine. Horsetail contains over 60% silica by dry weight, the primary cofactor for keratin cross-linking. When silica is deficient, the hair shaft is brittle, prone to breakage. The monks brewed it as tea and used the infusion as a scalp rinse, providing silica internally and externally simultaneously. A 2016 trial found oral silicone significantly improved hair thickness and reduced breakage. A 2021 study found topical silicone improved hair shaft integrity. Number 4. Saw palmetto, the ancient DHT suppressor, before saw palmetto became standard in men's health supplements. Franciscan missionaries documented its use by indigenous North American healers in the 16th century. Serenoa repans saw palmetto. Saw palmetto inhibits 5-alpha reductase at both type 1 and type 2 isoforms more comprehensively than finasteride, which targets only type 2. It also inhibits DHT binding to androgen receptors, a second mechanism finasteride does not address. A 2023 double-blind trial found saw palmetto produced significantly greater hair count improvement over 24 weeks. A 2012 trial found 60% showed improvement, compared to 11% in placebo. From a Berry Franciscan monks documented without knowing the word DHT. Number 5. Apple cider vinegar rinse, the scalp pH restorer. The monastery cellar produced apple cider vinegar, used for food preservation, wound care, and documented in several European monastery traditions as a scalp rinse. The scalp's optimal pH is between 4.5 and 5.5. Commercial shampoos are alkaline, disrupting the acid mantle, stripping the sebum barrier, and creating the chronic low-grade scalp inflammation that accelerates follicle damage. Raw apple cider vinegar restores scalp pH immediately and creates an environment inhospitable to malassezia, the organism responsible for dandruff and seborrheic dermatitis, now recognized as a significant contributor to inflammatory hair loss. A 2016 study confirmed acetic acid significantly reduced malassezia colonization. This is the moment to stop. 5 hair and scalp remedies, all monastery, all confirmed by modern trichological research, all costing almost nothing. The $50 billion hair loss industry addresses the consequences of scalp inflammation, DHT sensitivity, nutritional deficiency, and pH disruption, every one of which the monastery prevented through ordinary daily practice. Leave a comment right now. Tell me which you are starting tonight. Number 6. Rosemary and peppermint combined, the 8-week hair density protocol. This is number 6, the one that produces measurable hair density increase in 8 weeks. Rosemary and peppermint combined as an infused oil and applied to the scalp with fingertip massage for 4 minutes daily. The combination is the intervention. Mechanistically additive. Rosemary inhibits 5-alpha reductase. Peppermint's menthol causes vasodilation of dermal capillaries, increasing oxygen delivery to follicles, miniaturizing from DHT. The combination addresses the same mechanism from both ends. A 2014 study found peppermint oil increased dermal papilla cells and follicle depth, outperforming minoxidil in several measures. A 2019 study combining rosemary and peppermint found significant hair density increase after 8 weeks. From herbs the monastery grew in the same garden. Number 7. Burdock root oil, the scalp nutrition delivery system. In monastery traditions across Central Europe and East Asia, one root was maintained specifically for its scalp applications. Arctium lapa, burdock. Traditional physicians across multiple unconnected medical systems independently associated it with hair health because they observed the same results. Burdock root oil contains phytosterols and fatty acids that penetrate the scalp dermis, providing the nutrient environment dermal papilla cells require for normal follicle cycling. In conditions of nutritional deficiency, DHT exposure, and inflammation, the anagen growth phase shortens and the telogen rest phase lengthens. More follicles resting, fewer growing. Visually apparent as thinning. Burdock root contains compounds supporting anagen phase duration and inulin feeding the scalp microbiome. A 2011 study confirmed significant reduction in scalp inflammation markers with burdock extract. Number 8. Hildegard's Scalp Formula, the 1158 Protocol. In Physica, written around 1158, Hildegard von Bingen described preparations combining bears, garlic, violets, and herbal infusions in oil for the scalp, addressing what she called falling of the hair and weakness of the roots. Bear's garlic contains allicin antimicrobial against Staphylococcus aureus and Malassezia, drivers of the inflammatory scalp environment causing hair loss. Violets contain rutin and hesperidin, improving microcirculation in the follicle's dermal blood supply. A 2021 review confirmed each ingredient contained bioactive compounds with documented effects on at least one mechanism of hair loss. Number 9. Monastery Bone Broth. The internal hair nutrition protocol, the Monastery Kitchen, ran bone broth continuously. The connection to hair health is biochemistry. Hair is made of keratin, requiring specific amino acids, glycine, proline, hydroxyproline, and cysteine, all found in high concentrations in long-simmered bone broth. Hair also requires sulfur for the disulfide bonds, giving the keratin helix its structural integrity. Bone broth provides cysteine, the sulfur-containing amino acid, in bioavailable form. A 2019 clinical study found hydrolyzed collagen supplementation significantly improved hair growth rate and reduced shedding in women with thinning hair over 90 days. The monastery consumed this daily as ordinary food, their hair receiving keratin synthesis raw materials at every meal. Number 10. The Monastery Scalp Massage Protocol, the mechanical DHT clearance. Not a plant, a practice. Modern trichology has confirmed it produces some of the most dramatic hair density improvements documented outside pharmaceutical intervention. Every time a monk applied the monastery scalp preparations, he massaged them in with firm, circular fingertip pressure for several minutes. The monastery medical tradition described massage as essential, not merely a delivery mechanism, but an active part of the treatment. Firm pressure mechanically stretches dermal papilla cells, activating stretch-sensitive ion channels, triggering genes that promote follicle growth and suppress regression. A 2016 study found 4 minutes of daily scalp massage over 24 weeks significantly increased hair thickness in all participants without any topical preparation. Number 11. Neem oil, the scalp microbiome restorer. The monastery hospitals of India maintained one tree above all others for scalp and hair health. Ozadirachta indica neem, the cold-pressed seed oil was applied to the scalp as first-line treatment for the itching, flaking, and inflammatory hair loss accompanying scalp, fungal, and bacterial overgrowth. Neem contains azadirachtin, nimbadan, and nimbin, targeting scalp pathogens recognized as significant contributors to inflammatory hair loss. A 2014 study confirmed neem oil significantly reduced Malassezia colonization and scalp inflammation in seborrheic dermatitis patients. Number 12. The Monastery Dietary Zinc Protocol, the follicle enzyme activator. The monastery kitchen provided zinc in concentrations the modern diet consistently fails to deliver. In the follicle, zinc is the specific cofactor of enzymes controlling keratinocyte proliferation and is required for the inhibition of 5-alpha reductase in follicular tissue. Zinc deficiency produces diffuse thinning, often mistaken for genetic causes, that reverses with zinc restoration. A 2013 study found supplementation significantly improved hair loss in deficient patients. A 2019 review found serum zinc inversely correlated with hair loss severity. The monastery provided it at every meal. Number 13. Green tea rinse, the EGCG follicle protector. The Buddhist monastery traditions of China and Japan documented green tea as a scalp application cooled, strong brew, applied as a final rinse, left to dry, without washing out. Green tea contains EGCG, one of the most potent natural inhibitors of 5-alpha reductase. It also stimulates IGF-1 production in dermal papilla cells, the primary growth factor driving anagen phase initiation. A 2007 study found EGCG significantly stimulated hair growth in human hair organ culture. A 2016 study confirmed increased follicle proliferation markers. The modern green tea scalp serum sells for $40. The Monastery brewed the same active ingredient for almost nothing. Number 14. Aloe vera, the scalp enzyme balancer. The monastery gardens of southern Spain and the Arab medical institutions maintained aloe vera specifically for the scalp. Aloe contains allosin, reducing DHT response protein overproduction, and choline salicylate, reducing the prostaglandin D2 signaling driving androgenic hair loss. A 2019 study confirmed aloe significantly reduced scalp inflammation markers and improved the microenvironment for follicle cycling. Number 15. The Monastery Cold Water Protocol. The scalp circulation activator. We end where the monastery morning always began. Cold water, applied to the scalp after herbal preparations were massaged in. The temperature contrast produced an immediate physiological response. Vasoconstriction, followed by reactive vasodilation. A pump and flush cycle, significantly increasing blood flow to the dermal papilla cells at the follicle base. Increased dermal papilla blood flow means increased delivery of the oxygen. Amino acids, minerals, and growth factors, anagen phase maintenance requires. Modern trichology identifies reduced scalp blood flow as a significant contributor to androgenic hair loss. The monastery addressed this mechanism every morning. Free, daily, they built a $50 billion industry on the hair loss the monastery herb garden, kitchen, and morning ritual naturally prevented. On the DHT accumulation that rosemary and saw palmetto address. On the silica deficiency that horsetail corrects. On the zinc deficiency that monastery food prevented. On the scalp inflammation that nettle, neem, and apple cider vinegar suppress. The monks had herbs, oil, cold water, and a kitchen that never stopped using the foods that feed a healthy follicle. Share this with someone whose hair is not what it was.